Time now for the Educated Retirement Show with your host, Jay Kaplan. Jay discusses reverse mortgages and can answer your questions at 951-922-3532. Call lines are open at 951-922-3532. And now here's Jay.
Well, here's Jay. I am the producer of this. I guess that's what they call me. I'm the guy that yaps on it most of the time, and I do agree with the opinions of this show. Now, if you see the video either now or in the future, that's my picture 100 pounds ago. I'm not sure which one I look better. I think I look better fatter, but I'm supposed to be a lot healthier, skinnier. And I guess I am. So welcome to the Educated Retirement Radio here on KMET 1490, where we contemplate retirement and how to best prepare for retirement and how to best stay successfully retired. Remember, absolutely meet retirement needs. Meet them now. Top off your tank to make it all the way to wherever you're going. And let's hope you're going a long way. And I am supposed to respect my elders, but it is getting harder and harder for me to find someone older than me. But so be it. As you know, I just turned 75. Just a little plug here. Look me up on my drheckham.com. And it may sound weird, but it's not. drhecm.com. Doctor, because I know what I'm talking about. Heckham, home equity conversion mortgage, or you can go the old standby, just like this radio show, theeducatedretirement.com. And remember to give me a call at this number right here, 866-955-2233. I need to look at it to make sure that it's still there and not I didn't put my hand over it. 866-955-2233. 866-955-2233. It's kind of an easy number for an old guy like me to remember. Now, you can always email me with any comments, no matter what. bestloantoday@gmail.com. And I also do get comments on the educatedretirement.com. Remember, the future is now, and as long as you're alive, you have a future. And speaking of knowledge is power, I don't know if you remember, you should, Saeed, who said that it's applied knowledge that's power. He's coming on the show, I believe it's 2 weeks from now again. So there. So jump over to the station. Jump over to the email. Jump over to my website, and you can check out everything, most of the shows on YouTube, and so much more information written mostly by professionals that know, I think I know quite a bit. But, I am called the reverse mortgage guru. Anyway, so there's a lot of short snippets there you might like. Also on the YouTube, there's an easy link to that, just like there's an easy link to these shows and the past shows of the same month or so of everyone, that is everyone who has a show on the Mighty Met. So amongst those, let's give a thanks to Daryl McCants, who does recognize this show on each of his as me being on his advisory team, along with Bill Morse of UCI. So what is today? It's National Day of Stools. No, National Day of Mushrooms. So, I kind of wanted to open this and start eating it. We usually have some fresh mushrooms around. I don't know what fresh and mushrooms have together since they're fungus, but I do love mushrooms. They're they're earthy, but flavorful. Some earthy things, but this, I love mushrooms.
There's a lot you can do with mushrooms.
So a day to celebrate your favorite shrooms. Some may be psychedelic, some poisonous, some medical, but most are just really great in your beef stroganoff or on your pizza. or on your burger. I love burgers with mushrooms also. White button, cremini, portobello, shiitake, oyster, beach, maitake, or enoki mushrooms. I'm not sure what those are, but so be them. I've probably eaten them. Those I just mentioned are all edible, which are only a few of the 14,000 varieties. Mushrooms are also called toadstools, by reference to stools. And it is a fungus and grows in the dark and damp areas. However, there are over 30 species of mushrooms that actually glow in the dark, and people have been known to use these fungi or stools to light their way through the woods. So mushrooms first entered the culinary scene in the 19th century when French chefs, leave it to the French, first started to use them. A single portobello mushroom can contain more potassium than a banana. And I don't know if that's a big deal or not, but fact for you, mushrooms are made up of around 90% water and is in many cuisines considered meat of the vegetable world. So one who collects mushrooms to eat from the wild is called a mycophagist. A mycophagist. So there, it's also Save the Elephant Day, also called World Elephant Day. So here is, give me the small one for, here's a little tyke. I don't think you forgot what they look like, but is this one, that's a small one, and it's going to grow into this one. Now, do you know if this is an Asian elephant, otherwise called an Indian elephant, or an African elephant? You can tell by the size of the ears. This has got big ears, and so it would be African. And that, of course, is those are the meaner. I don't know if they're meaner. They're more aggressive than the Asian ones or the Indian ones. So, Save the Elephant Day is a day to call attention to the plight of our beloved pachyderms. Their numbers are dwindling, and their survival is at risk. Young and old, we all seem to love elephants. Unfortunately, in their native environment, their very survival as a species is at risk due to shrinking habitat and poaching. They are the world's largest land animal, as I used to be, but I've lost a lot of weight, as well as some of the smartest and most compassionate. So I guess when they talk about the memory of elephants, then it must be true. So they can grieve lost family members. Elephants can recognize themselves in the mirror like humans. Unfortunately, I do. Apes and dolphins also can recognize themselves. They can weigh up to 260 pounds at birth, not when they get at birth. The adult African bush elephant can weigh up to 14,000 pounds. They can spend 16 hours a day eating, more than me. And of course, some of the famous elephants, Barbar, remember we showed you that book, children, they're part of a group of children's books, who grew up in the forest after his education by humans in the big city. Dumbo, character of Disney's film, 1941. Horton, Dr. Seuss character, and the Oliphants are the beasts from J.R.R. Tolkien's Middle Earth. So what do we do here? We believe in challenging the status quo. Families and people need to be active, not reactive. So, famous people's birthdays. Charlie Chaplin, 1989. No. I think I better revise that. 1889 to 1977. English comic, actor, filmmaker, and composer who rose to fame in the silent era, became famous for the tramp character. Let me show you. Here's a picture. This is a young Charlie, and I really like this picture. This was in some kind of a Sherlock Holmes play, I believe. And well, let me show you. This one's kind of dark, but this is a dapper picture. A more dapper picture, as you would say, as I would say. And there's a really nice one of Charlie. So Charlie was born in South London to music hall entertainers. His father left the family when Charles was young. His mother did occasional dressmaking, sent him to a workhouse twice by the age of 9. So I'm not sure how nice a mama. When he was 14, his mother was committed to a mental hospital, and or a mental asylum, excuse me. I'm not, my ears mixed up. And his leaving him and his brother to live with their father, who was an alcoholic. So mother was in the asylum, or the asylum, and Papa was an alcoholic. He was encouraged to pursue a stage career by Mama. So he joined a clog dancing troupe and toured music halls. He worked hard and was popular with his audiences by 13. He had abandoned education and registered with a theatrical agency. He was occasionally considered an accomplished comic performer. In other words, a real professional by the age of 18. By 19, he joined Fred Carno's, whoever Fred was. His name sounds like Carney, so that's okay. Prestigious comedy company, and became one of the best performers in that group, which brought him to American music halls. Regarding his early work in film and his character, the Tramp, Charlie said, "I wanted everything to be a contradiction. The pants baggy, the coat tight, the hat small, the shoes large." That kind of describes me, no? Anyway, the moment I was dressed in the clothes and the makeup, it made me the person he was. That is, made him into the Tramp. Charlie starred in over 32 films and directed 15 of them, including Modern Times, 1936. He directed and composed music for it. I don't know if we have time to look at all of these are gatefold, but what we'll do is we'll take a look at the front and back pretty quick. I love this movie. We have watched this over and over and over. The Great Dictator, 1940, which he directed and wrote the screenplay. The Kid, which he also directed and wrote the screenplay. And we'll get to it in a moment. Don't worry about it. City Lights, 1931. And I believe he directed and composed music for it. I believe City Lights, he and somebody else, or he and his company, opened the Los Angeles Theater in the late 1920s, I believe, to premiere this film. So it's a great one also. And what is that? I can't...
Gold Rush.
Oh, a Gold Rush. The Gold Rush, 1932, which he directed. Limelight, 1952, directed, wrote the story, composed the music. And there you go. Circus is another one. And we promised you a look at The Kid, which is right here. We're not talking about me. Although sometimes I'm called, "Hey kid, what's," anyway. Charlie the composer. As a child, he taught himself how to play the piano, violin, and cello. He could not read sheet music and needed the help of professionals when creating his scores in later years. He produced three popular songs, Smile, la, 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 la. Don't listen to me, for modern times. A beautiful song, anyway. Terry's theme for Limelight, and This Is My Song. He won an Academy Award for Best Original Score for Limelight. And Charlie Chaplin's quotes. Let me give you a couple of quotes here. You'll never find rainbows if you're looking down. How true. Life is a beautiful, magnificent thing, even to a jellyfish. So that came from a scene from Limelight. A day without laughter is a day wasted. And a Russian astronomer gave a name to a minor planet. I can't tell you where that planet is right now. After Chaplin, it's 3626 Chaplin. And thieves grave robbed Chaplin's body in 1978 and held it for ransom for $600,000. His widow tapped the phone lines and led police to the suspects. They recovered the body. The robbers had buried him in a cornfield, and he was reburied in a concrete grave. Now, we've got a couple of great and very important guests coming in just a few minutes, so we'll take a break and bring those guests. But before I do, I just want to let you know that yesterday I was on Ron Siegel's show, which appears right here on KMET, and we discussed how to really increase family wealth. There are so many ways to do that with a HECM or reverse mortgage. Take some cash, tax-free, and buy another property as a rental property. This is just one of dozens of different ways to do that. Depending on the amount of cash available, you now own a rental property with no payments in fact on either property, and now have extra income from the rent and equity growing on both. Now, is that a great way for your family to increase their value and for you to increase your own legacy? So with that, we've got some, like I said, some really nice guests coming up. And then we'll be back to, we're going to have a talk with Robert Ryan while Henry Mancini provides the music. And NASA Nellie is on her way. So until then, let's give it back to Sean. And we'll take a short break. And we'll see you and hear you. And you hear us very soon. Take care and stay tuned.
Don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
Well, good afternoon and welcome back to the second hour of the Educated Retirement, where we contemplate retirement and how to best handle retirement, how to best stay retired, and how to best enjoy being retired. We had a really, really great conversation with a couple of doctors on the second half of the first hour, so please listen to that if for any reason you had missed that. But let me show you my these are actually whiteboards because they're white. My phone number, 866-955-2233, 866-955-2233. And of course, you can always go to the name of this radio station, theeducatedretirement.com, or the shorter one, Dr. Heckham, DRHECM, drheckham.com. So we're going to start with NASA Nellie. I think she's almost landed. Let me listen for her rockets. Yep, okay, she's close by. And she's going to give us a really fascinating story that happened, well, well over 100 years ago, actually, and does consider and does involve UFOs and visitors from outer space. So take it away, NASA Nellie.
April 17th, 1897. The place, the small town of Aurora, Texas, which in the 1800s had a population of over 4,000, where now is only about 1,400. Here are a few noteworthy events in 1897. The first Boston Marathon was run with 15 men competing. Bram Stoker's Gothic horror novel Dracula was first published, and in 1897, Mark Twain responded to the rumors that he was dead when he quoted saying, "The report of my death was an exaggeration." But on a farm near the little town of Aurora, an event from out of this world was about to occur. As a reminder, this is several years before the invention of the first powered airplane. As reported, a UFO in the form of a mystery airship, cigar-shaped craft, is said to have hit a windmill on the property of Judge J.S. Proctor at about 6 a.m., resulting in its horrific crash. The pilot, who was reported as not of this earth, did not survive, according to Army Signal Service Officer T.J. Weems. Strange hieroglyphic figures were seen on the wreckage and resembled a mixture of aluminum and silver, said to have weighed several tons. The body of the deceased pilot is said to have been buried with Christian rites by a traveling pastor named William Russell Cable at the Aurora Cemetery. The wreckage from the crash site was dumped into a nearby well located under the damaged windmill. Mr. Brawley Oates, who purchased Judge Proctor's property in 1935, cleaned out the debris from the well and later developed an extremely severe case of arthritis. As a result, he sealed the well as he felt the water was contaminated and caused this condition. There were several professional investigations of the event over the years. In 2005, UFO Files aired an episode relating to the incident where MUFON investigators uncovered two new eyewitnesses to the crash. Mary Evans, who was 15 at the time, told how her parents went to the site and the scene of the alien body was discovered. Charlie Steffens, who was 10 at the time, told how he saw the mystery airship trailing smoke as it headed toward Aurora, and how his father went to the site the next day and actually saw the wreckage of the crash. MUFON uncovered the alleged alien grave marker at the cemetery that appeared to show an etching of the flying saucer. They asked for permission to exhume the burial site, which was denied. They also found readings from their metal detector showing large quantities of foreign material that might be buried there. The next day, when they returned, that marker was missing. UFO hunters in 2008 were able to investigate the well along with the grandson of the previous owner. The well water was tested and resulted in large amounts of aluminum. The owner gave the hunters samples of metal from the well that tested to be aluminum and an unknown element. The incident has been said to be just a fable, but yet has been the highlight of several UFO productions. Mystery airships have been reported all over the United States during 1800s and 1890s, and were really the predecessor to modern UFOs at the time. The sightings were mostly at night with unidentified lights. It was the popular belief that they were the product of some inventor who was not ready to make knowledge of his creation public, and many times these sightings were not taken seriously. The Aurora UFO incident remains as a cosmic fascination, especially as it happened so many years before the infamous crash at Roswell.
Hold on 1 minute, NASA Nellie. I love this picture. Is it real? No, but I love it anyway. So NASA, are you ready to take off now?
Yes.
I'll
Here I
wait
go.
till you're gone. Okay, she's gone. So back to birthdays. Whose birthday today? In 1909, Robert Ryan, who was born 1909 and earned his wings in 1973. An American film, stage, television actor who I'm showing a picture, but you know who he is. Often portrayed hardened cops and ruthless villains. So Robert was born into a wealthy family who owned a real estate firm. He graduated from Dartmouth College in 1932, where he held the school's heavyweight boxing title for 4 years, as well as lettering in football and track. After graduation, he found employment as a stoker on a ship, again a fireman, which stokes coal or wood, probably coal by that time, that traveled to Africa. Was a WPA worker, and that actually predates me, but some of you may remember. And a ranch hand in Montana. After returning home, he modeled clothes for a department store and decided to become an actor. He joined a little theater group in 1937 and enrolled in the Max Reinhardt Workshop in Hollywood and earned $75 a week for a studio contract with Paramount Pictures. I've got a couple more. Speaking of pictures, this one's pretty small, but I think you can see it, showing his hardened look. Okay. And just in case you think he looks like a son of
Lee Marvin.
Lee Marvin, there we go. There's the two of them. So, anyway, Ryan began starring in several films, starring with Pat O'Brien, Richard Denning, Fred Astaire, Ginger Rogers. And after he served in the Marines, where he also took up painting, and I wish I had a picture of one of his paintings. I guess I could have done that, but I don't. He got roles in many westerns and film noir through RKO and MGM, along with Randolph Scott, Robert Mitchum, Gloria Graham, James Mason, Robert Young, and James Stewart, just to mention a few. In the early 1950s, he premiered in several television productions such as Screen Directors Playhouse, Alcoa Theater, Zane Grey Theater, I remember that one. In the 60s, he worked with Richard Burton and directors John Frankenheimer and Nicholas Ray, both of whom we've talked extensively about on this show. Robert starred in about 50 films, and he was nominated for Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor in Crossfire. Now, let's see, Crossfire's number 2 there. I'm just going to show it to you. This was a really important film. It had to do with how people treat each other in this country. And it was originally, the person that was murdered was originally in the book or whatever, was an African American. They changed it for whatever reason to a Jewish person. But this was up for Best Film of the Year. And it was also, he was nominated for Best Supporting Actor in Crossfire. Let me see that one more time. As I think that's a movie that's only a lot of Roberts. Yeah, this one, Crossfire, was directed by Edward Dimrick, who we also recognize. But Robert Young, Robert Mitchum, and Robert Ryan, 3 Roberts. He was in The Setup, which I really like, okay, in 1949. And this was directed by Robert Wise, who, in my opinion, usually makes films that are much too long. But this one wasn't. This one was in real time. This started off at, let's say 7 o'clock, and it ended at 8:15. I'm not sure what the exact time was, but it was like a real-time film. You followed people during the real time. It's pretty unusual, and it was very, very good. So, Bad Day at Black Rock is a movie we watched so many times. I can't tell you, but it's good. All right. There it is. And I could tell you more about it, but we're going to run out of time, so I probably won't. But just go with the fact that I'm really recommending it, okay? And there was also The Dirty Dozen, The Flying Leathernecks, The Racket. You can tell we really like these film noir films because we've got a lot of those. And again, I'm using, laser discs because they're bigger pictures. So there, just like, records and CDs. I don't use CDs. I will download something for convenience, but, the record is what you want. The Longest Day, Captain Nemo and the Underwater City. I don't have that one with me right now. But I just want to remind you that you are listening to the Educated Retirement Radio here on your home planet, 1490 KMET AM, the Mighty Met. And let's give me a call, 866-955-2233. And we're going to provide some background music now with Henry Mancini. And here's Henry. There's a nice picture of him. He was born in 1924, and he did earn the nice wings. In 1994, he was gone. So, American composer, conductor, pianist, and flutist, which I didn't know, often cited as one of the greatest composers in the history of film. Let's just show a couple more pictures, and he is one of the greatest. Not just film, he did a lot of different things. And my favorite picture of him smoking a cigar, like I would be doing, hopefully. Okay, there he is. My hero, and I love playing his music, and I do so quite a bit, actually. And here's a real live color picture of him. But you probably know what he looks like or can remember. But anyway, he was born to Italian immigrants in the Little Italy neighborhood, near Pittsburgh. His father was a steel worker and an amateur musician, so there you go. At 8, Henry began learning the piccolo and was inspired to pursue film music composition after hearing the score to Cecil B. DeMille's film The Crusades in 1935. I gotta say, I am not familiar with The Crusades, either the film nor the music. But all of this was against his father's wishes, who wanted him to become a teacher. He later studied piano and orchestral arrangement under a Pittsburgh concert pianist. Mancini began to produce arrangements for the Stanley Theater bands and even for Benny Goodman. I was going to say Betty Hill. No, Benny Goodman. After discharge from the Army, he entered the music industry land, which is, I guess, the name of something, but I like it. Became a pianist and arranger for the Glenn Miller Orchestra, and in 1952 he joined the Universal International's music department and contributed music to 100 movies, or over 100 movies, from which he got absolutely no screen credit. I'm sure he got paid, but no screen credit. And some of these will seem strange to you, but yes, it is Henry. Creature from the Black Lagoon, The Creature Walks Among Us, It Came from Outer Space, Tarantula, This Island Earth, and Svengoolie, because I know the more cultured amongst you are watching Svengoolie on Saturday nights. It Lives or It Doesn't.
The Thing That Wouldn't Die.
The Thing That Wouldn't Die, which had a head in a wooden box, but he did the music for that too. So, like I said, no screen credit for most of the Universal monster movies. But then he did start getting credit for the Glenn Miller story, for which he received his first Academy Award nomination, the Benny Goodman story, and Orson Welles' Touch of Evil, which was an amazing film we're not going to talk about now. He left Universal to work as an independent in 1958 and scored TV series Peter Gunn for Blake Edwards now. I guess I should have told Sean about this in advance. I love this music. Okay? And of course the back has that same kind. Is that back the same thing? Oh, this is a different back. I don't know why. This one has a different color. That's why I grabbed it. Don't know anything else about it, but it's a little noisy. It's got some notes on here, but I had to have it. Oh, it's also warped. No big deal. I've got so many copies, including some very heavy, like 180 gram special audiophile copies of those too. But he worked or collaborated with Blake Edwards on some 30 films: Days of Wine and Roses, Experiment in Terror, The Pink Panther. Do we have Pink Panther out here?
No.
No? Okay. Well, I got that too, but we don't have it out here. The Party, The Great Race. He worked with others and did Charade. You know what? Before we get off of television, let me show you that. Hey, how about the back? Is that cool? Look, that's what a stereo is supposed to look like. Mr. Lucky, and then Mr. Lucky goes Latin. Huh? What do you think? I've got multiples of those because I love them so much. And then worked with others, other directors that is, did Charade. Okay. Which I really like. Hatari, which I've got a great audiophile pressing, but I couldn't find it real quick. Remember Baby Elephant Walk, and we talked about elephants earlier. The Glass Menagerie, Oklahoma Crude, Frenzy, which I wasn't aware of, which was a Hitchcock film, and scored many television movies such as Thornbirds, and wrote many TV themes such as, well, Mr. Lucky, which we just showed, Remington Steele, Newhart, and Late Night with David Letterman, and was featured many times on the Lawrence Welk Show. We have a few more. I don't know offhand, but yes, this is the European audiophile. And this one has Moon River, which we all know. Any more? Oh, I already showed Charade, right?
Oh, did you Charade? Okay.
And he recorded over 90 albums and was a concert performance in over 50 engagements a year, resulting in over 600 symphony performances during his lifetime. Nominated for 72 Grammy Awards and won 20. Nominated for 18 Academy Awards and won 4. Best Original Musical, Victoria, 1983. Best Song, Victoria. Best Original Song, Days of Wine and Roses, and Moon River. So I've shown you those. There's a few other things that I'd like to show you. These are a little bit different. These are not just to prove that he wasn't only on. And this is really good. If you see this, pick this up. This is really good. Well, they're all really good. What can I say? Here's another one. And on the back, it shows, it shows all these different albums. Well, they're all Henry Mancini. Here's another one. Boy, that's a heavy. Okay, no problem. There we are. The Versatile. Oh, this has got one of those cool backs, drawings on it. Okay. And just to show you that other people were playing his music just as much, Shelly Manne and his men play Peter Gunn. And this is a heavy one here. This is just a conglomeration of a lot of his things. And if we had more time, I would open it up and show you little booklets and things. He shares this with Fiedler and the Boston Pops. Right there is side 2. back here, and of course it's got, the two different huge albums. So with that, we're going to get ready to say goodbye, and I want you to stick around for right after a short break. Ray Ramirez will be back, who we haven't talked to in a while, so this is a pre-recorded, but we're trying to get him back on the show again. But things have been a little weird, right, lately. So please listen. He's going to talk about finance and retirement and staying busy in retirement. And in the meantime, keep yourself busy, keep yourself happy, and looking forward to you. And most of all, keep yourself safe. And looking forward to talking with you and being with all of you again this next weekend. Thank you to Sean, our great engineer, and thank you to all the people listening. You're appreciated so, so much. Take care and have a good weekend.